The Dark Cave by Lam Songlian. The Dark Cave is a fictional tale, yet it feels vividly real to the imagination. Set in a mysterious land where myth and reality intertwine, it explores the courage, sacrifice, and love that arise in the face of darkness. The beginning. In a remote and forgotten corner of the world lies the mystical mountain range of Laiku, a place said to exist only in the dreams of those in a coma. Nestled high within those peaks was a strong and resourceful village, known for its skilled hunters and unmatched craftsmanship in weapons. The people lived in harmony with nature, guided by an aging but wise chief. One day, everything changed. A massive, dark cloud descended, but strangely, it covered only the village. It cast an eerie shadow over homes, fields, and hearts. Crops wilted. The winds grew cold. Fear gripped the villagers, especially the children and women, who could not understand why such darkness had chosen their peaceful home. Sensing something unnatural, the village chief summoned the people to the community hall. "People of Laikau," the chief declared, "this darkness is not of nature. I fear it is the work of the dark spirit that dwells in the cave on Mount Borsa, the mountain of shadows. We cannot wait. We must march to the cave and confront the spirit before it consumes us all." The villagers murmured, afraid but trusting their leader. The next morning, the men of the village gathered at the chief's house. Armed and determined, they followed him into the wilderness, toward the dreaded dark cave. The journey to Mount Borsa. The journey was long and treacherous. They traveled for an entire day through rugged terrain, forests thick with mist, and steep mountain trails. As they neared Mount Borsa, the skies darkened even more. Thunder rumbled, and icy winds halted their march. Forced to take shelter inside a large cavern at the mountain's base, they decided to wait for daylight before entering the cursed cave. That night, stories were whispered around the fire. Tales of travelers who never returned from the cave, of spirits demanding sacrifices, of mountains that cried when disturbed. The spirits demand. At dawn, the villagers entered the dark cave. The air inside was colder than death itself. Deep within, they summoned the spirit. A dark figure rose from the shadows, its voice echoing like wind through stone. "You have disturbed me. To restore your peace, I demand a human sacrifice. Refuse, and your village shall suffer ruin." The villagers froze. The chief, torn between duty and love, agreed, secretly planning to offer his own daughter, Margaret, as the sacrifice. He told no one, fearing rebellion. Only one person discovered the truth: Ariel, a brave young man who deeply loved Margaret. Ariel was horrified. He confronted the chief in secret, but the elder refused to change his decision. "To save many, sometimes one must be lost," the chief said solemnly. The abduction. One fateful day, the dark spirit came to the village in human form and demanded the sacrifice. Tearfully, the chief handed over Margaret. As she vanished into the mist with the spirit, the dark cloud lifted, and light returned to the village. But Ariel could not accept it. Driven by love and loyalty, he set off alone toward Mount Borsa, determined to save Margaret. He reached the dark cave, sneaking past its shifting shadows, and found her locked in an enchanted cage. Each afternoon, the spirit would appear, disguised as a handsome man, and propose marriage to Margaret. Every time, she refused. "I will never marry a spirit who brings suffering to the innocent." When the spirit vanished one evening, Ariel revealed himself. Margaret wept tears of joy, though fear still gripped her. "You must leave," she said, "if the spirit finds you." "I won't leave you here," Ariel replied. "I'm going to seek help. There are beings who can fight this evil." He urged her to keep refusing the spirit's proposal and slipped away to seek help from the legendary elves and fairies of Mount Murielf. The Alliance of Light. Ariel climbed far and fast. After days of travel, he reached the magical realm of Murielf, where fairies glowed like fireflies and elves lived in harmony with the trees. He told the elven king the whole story. The king listened gravely. "We know of this spirit. He is ancient and powerful, but with our magic and your courage, we can end him." The elves gave Ariel a magic potion, capable of destroying the spirit, and pledged their warriors. The fairy queen warned him, "If we destroy the spirit's lair, it could cost our people dearly. Are you willing to bear that burden?" "I am," Ariel said. "For Margaret. For my village. For peace." The final battle. As Ariel and the magical army approached Mount Borsa, the sky darkened once more. Inside the cave, the spirit grew restless. His power waned, and Margaret's resistance only enraged him further. Suddenly, the walls shook. Light burst into the cavern. Ariel and his allies had arrived. A fierce battle erupted. Elven arrows struck the spirit's form. Fairy spells created radiant shields against his attacks. The spirit summoned monstrous minions of rock and smoke, but they were met with swift blades and blazing light. Ariel fought his way to Margaret, broke the enchantment, and freed her. She clutched his arm, tears in her eyes. "You came back. Always." Then, with a final cry, Ariel hurled the potion directly at the spirit's heart. It shattered, unleashing a blinding explosion. The spirit let out a terrible scream as his form dissolved into dust, and the shadows vanished with him. The cave began to collapse, but the fairies held it long enough for everyone to escape. A new dawn. The darkness lifted from Mount Borsa. Ariel and Margaret returned to Lycael with their allies to a hero's welcome. The villagers wept, rejoiced, and fell to their knees in gratitude. The chief stepped forward, overwhelmed. "You both risked everything and saved us all." He handed leadership of the village to Ariel, saying, "You have proven what true leadership means, not by fear, but by love and courage." A few moons later, Ariel and Margaret were married beneath the great tree of Lycael. Elves, fairies, and villagers danced together under the stars. The mountain air was filled with music, magic, and the scent of new beginnings. Epilogue. Years passed, and Lycael prospered. With Ariel as chief and Margaret by his side, the village formed lasting bonds with the magical realms. Peace reigned. The dark cave was sealed, not forgotten, but remembered as a place where evil was overcome by love, unity, and bravery. And so the legend of the dark cave lived on, not as a tale of fear, but as a testament to the light that can rise even in the darkest places.